What's up, creators? It's your boy, Mad Mike, and on today's episode, we're gonna start mocking up the interior on the 1974 Plymouth Cuda project. So you're gonna wanna stay tuned and check it out.
If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Ha! Dare to be you. This world is just a canvas to our imagination. Turn a figment of your mind into creation.
Alright, creators, so this is my 1974 Plymouth Barracuda. I'm going to be turning it into an AAR Cuda tribute car. We got a lot of work ahead of us, so if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe because we're going to be documenting the entire build on this car. We've already done one episode where we started mounting the new doors that we just picked up. I had some old orange ones on there, and they're pretty beat up, missing glass and missing a lot of the handles. So these ones here are a lot better. And on today's episode, we're going to dive into the interior and we're going to start mocking up the seats, the door panels, the steering wheel, and then once that's done, I can grind everything down, sand everything down, and give everything a nice black coating. There's not too much patch paneling I'm going to have to do on the interior of this car, so that's a good thing. Alright guys, so I think what we're going to go ahead and do is go to the shipping unit, and we're going to grab all the interior parts, like the bucket seats, the rear seats, door panels, steering wheels, etc. and just start mocking up the interior because I'm really curious to see how this car's gonna look. Let's just start bringing in all the parts, then we'll start throwing it inside the Cuda. Just got everything brought in from the storage unit. We got all the interior parts. It's freezing cold outside though, but minus 30 tonight. And nice and warm in the shop here. I did also bring in the AAR fiberglass rear spoiler. Just kind of set it on the car and kind of see what it's gonna look like. Pretty happy with that. That'll go satin black when we end up painting the car. Bam, there you go. We got a bunch of the interior parts brought in from the storage unit. We got some door panels that are white and say Cuda. So we're gonna end up scuffing these all down and spray painting these black. Or for those of you that know the type of like splatter art that I like to do, I'll do some fluorescent colors or a solid black door and then do my fluorescent pink and fluorescent green splatter paint effect down the panel. Who knows, we might get kind of creative with it, but these are nice. They got the armrest. They're in decent condition. They do have some of the weather molding, the window trim there. And up here, we have a nice dash. I ended up painting an arm and leg for this, but it's a must-have. So this top pad is a little beat up. I don't know if you guys can see that there. It's pretty cracked up in the middle where the speaker goes, but no big deal. I actually ended up picking up another dash pad for a good deal. It's got one crack down the middle, which is right here, but it's not as bad as that there. So I will kind of fix this up eventually, but we're gonna swap out these dash pads. And this one here does say Barracuda in the corner. So it's got the emblem and everything else looks really good on this. I think these might be some aftermarket speakers or they could be a factory thing. I don't know. But cool little fact for you guys that don't know, but you Mopar guys will definitely know. This right here is a, focus, reverse light. Well, that little light right there indicates that this would have been for a 4-speed car or a manual car. That way when you put your stick into reverse, you got your reverse light that would light up right there on the dash. So that's a cool little fact there. And that also makes this dash worth more. And that's why I had to pay more for it. So we got the dash, we got some door panels, and then we got my dream bucket seats. These are the ones that I've always wanted. When I was in high school, I had a buddy, Rob, and his dad had a bunch of classic cars, and one day he pulled up when we had our Honda CRXs and Honda Preludes and all of our imports, and he pulled up, and I think it was, I don't think it was a Cuda, I think it was a Challenger, but it was like Sublime or Limelight. with a black vinyl top and these black leather seats in it. And it was a manual car, and I just remember him doing donuts, making us look like a complete joke with our cars. But I fell in love with that muscle car. I love that styling. So we acquired these 2 bucket seats, which are all original. This one here is a passenger seat, and it's pretty much in mint condition, whereas the driver's seat does have some stitching breaking loose. No big deal. I'll get my upholstery friend at work to sew these up for me. So we got those to put in. Then we got the back seats. These are some original matching back seats. I got this in a set. I think they were out of a Dodge Challenger or potentially a Cuda, the guy said. And yeah, here's the bottom of the back seat. It is mint, literally. The upper and the lower portion of these seats are in perfect condition. Even the underside, where all the springs are and whatnot, still got some original labeling, which maybe some of you Mopar guys could tell me what that all means down there. I'm not too sure. But yeah, the springs look good. The leather and vinyl looks really healthy. So that's the seats. What else do we got? Dash pad, I showed you that. Oh, big box of stuff down here. So this was a wood grain steering wheel that I've always wanted in a car. And I got this at the Burles Creek Automotive Flea Market for I think 25 bucks. I picked this up for my girlfriend and I. Kind of were roaming around all the aisles and this caught my eye. And yeah, we scored it. So we might end up throwing this wheel inside of the Cuda. Or right now I currently have, and we got a tough wheel that I just picked up. But the reason that I got a tough wheel was, let me see if I can zoom in here. If you look behind the steering wheel, you have kind of like what looks like a crushed can. Let me go around to the other side. All right, so we will put the steering wheel up here. We open up the door. Oh, by the way, door glass goes up and I got latches now. This side here doesn't have a handle, but I do have door latches. So yeah, when I picked up this car, it was just a shell. Now it's got doors that latch. I think that's pretty rad. It's really coming together. Good feeling too. So anyways, this steering wheel here, what I was saying is I picked up this tough steering wheel that's an original wheel that would have came in a Cuda because it's got the kind of crushed can, I think they call it, or the tin can that is behind it, which is basically a spacer or an adapter. Kicks your hand out away from the turn signal lever. So this wheel here, when I put it on, I'm unable to use the adapter. It's got to go onto the splines. So my hand ends up hitting this lever down here, which controls your turn signals. So I could get an adapter to space this wheel out, which I might. I think it's 2 inches bigger in diameter. So it feels like a school bus wheel compared to this tough wheel. So we might rock this tough wheel because I absolutely love the look of this. It's just what Cudas have, and it looks the part. So we might not run, love that. We might not run the steering wheel, but let's see what else we got. We might not run that hood scoop either, don't know yet. Okay, steering wheel, check. We got some 70 or 71, I think, original taillights, which we're not gonna run because I love the 74 taillights that I have, the round ones, which are right in that bag there. I got a set of 4 taillights. But the gentleman, Ward, who I picked this car up from, was such a nice guy. He really gave me a great deal on the shell, and I got the front end from him as well, which is a fiberglass one-piece front end. And he also gave me some taillights, 2 sets of gauges, and some other little goodies for the dash. I'll show you guys those here. So he gave me kind of a mock-up set of gauges, which is a rusty set. All the needles are kind of rusted. It's got a lot of condensation in it, but I might be able to clean it out and use it. So I got a rusty set of gauges here that can go on the dash for mock-up purposes and whatnot, or I might be able to refurbish. And then I got a nice set here, which he hooked me up with. I'll unwrap that later. But so we got another set of gauges. I got some headlight bezels. So this here is the headlight switches and whatnot. That'll go, I believe, right here on the dash. So we'll unwrap that, we'll mount that up. Cuda random. Some other random stuff in there, as well as we got some new marker lights. So while I was inspecting the inside of the Cuda to see how the dash is gonna mount, I kind of looked at this piece here and I saw some weird looking welds on it. And I was like, huh, Well, this Cuda used to be a drag car, and I looked on here and I saw some faint writing. We'll see if that can focus. That says IG, but these holes look like there would have been toggle switches here. And if this is IG, this probably would have been an ignition switch. So it probably would have been like some power, boom, maybe a push button ignition or something like that there. And we might have to cut that or grind that off in order to put the dash into the Cuda. But I thought that was kind of cool. I'm definitely gonna hold on to this piece when I cut it off. So let's go ahead and just start throwing in some of the interior. All right, so it is day 2. I am back inside the Mad Lab, and we're ready to start throwing in some interior panels into the 74 Cuda project. I think we're gonna start off with the dash. I'm gonna remove the old cracked dash pad and install the new one. And then we'll probably install the door panels and then the seats finally. So let's get after it. Well, we have the dash here, and the good thing is, this is the dash pad that we're removing, and we have the new one that's over here. Looking at the bottom side of the new dash pad, I'm able to see where all my mounting screws are, so that's gonna help me out huge on what screws I have to undo from the dash to get the old dash pad out. Well, that worked out pretty good. It's pretty easy to remove all the bolts, but we're able to get out all the screws, and my girlfriend and I love going to thrift stores, and when I go into like the cutlery area or wherever they have all the kitchen and stuff, I always pick up these trays for like forks and whatnot. They come in super handy to organize all your bolts and just throw a bunch of, you know, loose wires or tools in. So a little tip, next time you're at the thrift store, pick up some of these fork dividers. Come in handy for nut and bolt trays. Everything should be free on the dash. I should be able to remove the dash pad. Let's flip it over and see if it'll come off. That was super easy. That literally took me like 3 minutes, not even. So we'll go ahead, we'll grab the new dash pad and we'll just start bolting it up to the frame. We'll clean off the frame a little bit. There is some like dust and whatever. Eventually I will be pulling off the dash pad again and refurbishing the entire dash, spraying the dash frame satin black or whatever color those dashes came in, as well as the dash pad will probably fix that little tiny crack. So let's go ahead, we'll grab the new dash pad, throw it on top of the frame, and then install it into the car. All right, guys and girls, there we have it. We got the new dash pad on. Sure, it's got its own little cracks here and there and a little bit here. Not a big deal. We are not going to be doing a complete OEM restoration on this Cuda. We're gonna be going crazy with it and kind of doing our mad creative touch, and we're gonna just go wild with it. So if there's some dents in the panels or cracks in the dash, I don't care. All right, so we are ready to throw the dash into the Cuda. I'm gonna go ahead, remove the steering wheel from the car, roll the windows down so we can get things in and out a lot easier. Nice. All right, see if we can get this off. It should be fairly loose. All right, 1, 2. Whoa, well that was easy. All right, we got the tough steering wheel off. Should have more access to be able to get the dash on, but we do have to cut off that little ignition switch panel thing that they welded onto the front of the dash. We'll definitely keep this for a memento. Okay, so I was able to get the dash in. Fits really, really good. We have our next little small dilemma. I was able to get those 2 nuts off. But you see where the dash has got to slide into. Those studs are really long and the column won't go down anymore, so I can't slide the dash underneath there where this plate here needs to go. So I'm just gonna grab my grinder, cut here and here, here and here, and then that should be able to slot right underneath there. All right, now that those little slots are cut out, as you can see there and there, that should be able to slide underneath the steering column between those 2 studs, and I should be able to bolt up the dash. Okay, let's try to install the dash again. Beauty. 2 bolts up the side. Should be good enough for now. Dash is in. Stoked. That wasn't too bad. So it'll be pretty easy to take the dash in and out now that I know how it goes in and out. So let's go ahead. We'll chuck the steering wheel on. And then I think we'll throw the back seats in just loosely. And then we'll throw the 2 front bucket seats in. There we go. That looks wicked. Vroom, 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 vroom. Sick. Okay, so we got the steering wheel in. The dash is in with the new dash pad. That was the most difficult thing we're gonna do probably all night. Now it's just gonna be quick stuff. We're just gonna throw the back seats in. These white panels, we're gonna be refinishing black, like I said. Same with the door panels. Let's go ahead, throw in the back seats, and then the buckets. All right, seat time. We'll start with the bottom, which is that one, I believe, and then we'll put the backrest on. You guys have no idea how excited I am about this. I've always been dreaming of the day of owning a Cuda and putting these seats and the dash and some of the interior panels into it is really making this what was once a shell of a car when we first picked it up into almost a real looking Cuda. It's just getting better and better. I know that this is just the mock-up stage, but it's giving me that motivation to keep going, to keep doing all the hard work on the chassis and all the patch panels, quarter panels. So this is some good motivation right here. Hope you guys are digging it. Check out these back seats and then we'll install the front buckets. Dun, 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 dun. We have back seats, guys and girls. Check that out. Those look wicked. They're in absolutely incredible condition. Even though this was a drag car, they still had the clips for all the seats, which is awesome. So I don't have to weld anything in there. So the back seats are in. These little rear panels are just kind of sitting there right now. They're hitting the door, so I gotta screw them into place later. But again, this is just mock-up. But it is time to install the bucket seats. Not install, but put the bucket seats in. You get what I mean. All right, let's go ahead, grab these front bucket seats. We'll just sit them inside the car right now, and then we'll cut some 2x4 to raise the backs of the seats up. I'm so excited. Ta-da! Bam! We officially have seats and an interior in the 1974 Plymouth Cuda project car. The seats are just sitting in there roughly right now. Might be hard to see from here, but they're both kind of leaning in on each other. Not a big deal. I don't have any sliders on them right now. I got some Acura RSX seats that I'm gonna be taking the sliders off and using them for these buckets, but check that out, guys. I am so pumped. Look at this. It's looking like a car now. It's got interior seats, so cool. And I am so stoked with the progress of this so far, even though we just quickly threw everything in. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop in and see what it feels like. Oh yeah, baby. This is gonna be cool. This is sick. This is so motivating. Have my beautiful girlfriend sitting next to me here soon. Yeah, this is comfy. Now, do we do a 4-speed? Oh yeah. All right. Well, guys and girls, I think that's gonna be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.